Hello, bookish friends. I'm gonna try to film a few videos, so if it looks like I'm wearing the same outfit in multiple videos, I am. I'm gonna try to remember to change my headband and pin, because then it also helps me know where I'm supposed to be, which clips I'm supposed to use for each video. So I want to do a spring update for my cart, but I have books that I got that I want to put on here. I'm going to film my book haul in a couple of clips because, yeah, I've got plans to get more books in the next week. So I don't normally share kids' books, but I did get this Peek and Find Olivia Owl. I just thought it was so cute. We have a couple of books in this series. We have the panda one and the bunny one. So I got the owl one. I am starting to stockpile books for my children for when we go on vacation this summer. If you want to actually see more of those, or a video where I show all the books that I stockpile, let me know. I'm happy to do that. I also got my pre-order of The Pilgrim's Progress, The Poetic Journey. This was done by Rough Tunes. My husband likes their Baptist comics illustrations, and yeah, we could always use more Pilgrim's Progress. Then my husband and I went on another date. We're trying to go once a month, and we went to a bookstore, and I have been looking for a copy of The Bears of Blue River for months, ever since we read my friend's copy. And I found one at the bookstore, so I'm like, oh yes, snatch this up, even though it's paperback and not my favorite cover. It does still have the illustrations in it. And then we went to a library to use the bathroom, and they had some shelves of books for sale. And I found another copy, this same edition, for 50 cents, and I'm like, I just can't leave it behind. So I ended up buying that one too, and giving it to friends of ours from church. And I found another copy, a prettier copy, at an antique store. But my husband's like, you can't get three copies of the same book in one day, so I had to leave it behind. But I'll show a picture of what the awesome cover looked like. And then my mother was so kind to order me some books off of Thrift Books. I have A Talent for Murder. This is the first book. I don't know what the series is called, but Agatha Christie is the main character, and Shatona sent me book 4, so I figured I should get book 1 so I can eventually get to book 4. London, 1926. Agatha Christie is boarding a train to visit her literary agent, preoccupied with the recent devastating knowledge that her husband is having an affair. Suddenly she feels a tap on her back, causing her to lose her balance, and then the sensation of someone pulling her to safety from the rush of an oncoming train. Fun. Whenever I turned my head, I thought I saw her, a woman people described as striking, beautiful even. Sorry, there's a fly. Oh. The Bears of Blue River is set in the 1820s, at least at the beginning, when Indiana is first being settled. This mostly follows Balser Brent and his bear hunting adventures. My boys loved it. Oh, yes. Away back in the 20s, the 1820s, not the 1920s, when Indiana was a baby state and great forests of tall trees and tangled underbrush darkened what are now her bright plains and sunny hills, there stood upon the east bank of Big Blue River, a mile or two north of the point where that stream crosses the Michigan Road, a cozy log cabin of 2 rooms, one front and one back. And she got me The Mystery of the Clockwork Sparrow, which I would like to read in the spring. Enter a world of bonbons, hats, perfumes, and mysteries around every corner. Wonder at the daring theft of the priceless Clockwork Sparrow. Shatona liked it, so I'm willing to just go into it pretty much blind. Sophie hung on tightly to the leather strap as the omnibus rattled forward. Mara, Daughter of the Nile. I remember loving this book when I was in late middle school. And, ooh, the font is small. I would like to reread this. I would like to do a week where I just reread some of my favorites from middle school and high school and see if they still hold up, and I would read this one for that one and a few others. So if that sounds like a good idea, let me know. A compelling story of adventure, romance, and intrigue set in ancient Egypt. Mara is a proud and beautiful slave girl who yearns for freedom. In order to gain it, she finds herself playing the dangerous role of double spy for two arch enemies, each of whom supports a contender for the throne of Egypt. Nkanka, captain of the Nile boat Silver Beetle, paused for the 50th time beside his vessel's high-beaked prow and shaded his eyes to peer anxiously across the wharfs. And then I have Uckridge. I didn't know when I first wanted to read Love Among the Chickens that it is actually the first book in a series. So we got the second book, so my friend and I can read it together. Money makes the world go round for Stanley Featherstonehoff Uckridge, and when there isn't enough of it, the world just has to spin a bit faster. He always has these quick get-rich-quick schemes, and they never work out. Laddie, said Stanley Featherstonehoff Uckridge, that much-enduring man, helping himself to my tobacco and slipping the pouch absently into his pocket. Listen to me, you son of Belial. Do we still have... Nope, we have a new main character. Love Among the Chickens is told from... I remember his last name's Garnet, but this is Corky Corcoran. Be interesting to see what trouble Uckridge gets him into. Hopefully it's not a chicken farm. And then the two books I actually bought for myself this month are both by Sally Clarkson. Half Seasons of a Mother's Heart. This is the main reason I am filming this now, so I can start this in March because the book starts in spring. The heart-to-heart encouragement for homeschooling moms. Your life as a mom is a whirlwind of changing seasons that can leave you exhilarated one day and exhausted the next. Take time to catch your breath with Sally Clarkson as she shares personal stories and heartfelt insights to refresh your spirit. Yes, I really enjoy Sally's writing. Introduction, spring, reflections on spring. May 26th dawned a beautiful spring day. The wildflowers we had planted as seeds in February were already sprouting in some places. The young aspen trees were blooming quietly in the soft wind, and the purple columbine were in full bloom. And then, Well Lived, Shaping a Legacy of Gratitude and Grace, Reflections from Oxford. She lived in Oxford, I think, when her daughter was doing graduate school there. Anyway, I love the end papers. I did buy another book. It's coming on a Monday. Leaving a Legacy of a Well-Lived Life. 5 short years ago, I melted into the folds of a deep, squishy couch stuffed into a tiny living room in an Oxford flat. So I will be back for more books because, like I said, I have a book coming on Monday, and then I'm going thrifting this weekend, so I might find some books. And now I can get to a spring cart refresh, which you will probably have already seen. Okay, well, I went to go visit my in-laws with my husband and our kids, and then we haven't been doing school, so I lost track of the days, but I still think I'll get this out on time. While we were gone, I took my kids thrifting for summer clothes, and while there we went through the books, and I found A Patchwork Murder by Jan Fields. This is one of those Annie's Publishing. This is one of their series. And I found the first one. It's nice that they labeled these. And yeah. Join Emma Cotton, Kelly Grace, and the members of the Nimble Thimbles quilting group in the quaint seaside town of Mystic Harbor, Massachusetts, as they piece together new clues found in an old quilt that could help solve the mystery surrounding the death of their dear friend Rose 15 years ago. Go ahead and read the first sentence. In a quiet neighborhood, mere miles from Salem, Massachusetts, a city that revels in macabre folklore, the small white cottage was a picture of order and neatness, as if ready to reject the superstitious nonsense of its neighbors. And then when I came home, I had some books waiting for me. I had ordered a used copy of Olivetti. This one has like sentient typewriter. Being a typewriter is not as easy as it looks. Surrounded by books, notorious attention hogs, and recently replaced by a computer, Olivetti has been forgotten by the Brindles, the family he's lived with for years. The Brindles are busy humans, apart from 12-year-old Ernest, who would rather be left alone with his collection of Oxford English dictionaries. Once a collector of words, now Olivetti only collects dust. And first sentence. It's quite possible you've never spoken to a typewriter before. And I finally caved and bought a copy of the first volume of the Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon, 1883, and Emma M. Lyon has returned to her London neighborhood of St. Crispin's. But Emma's plans for a charmed and studious life are sabotaged by her eccentric cousin Archibald, her formidable Aunt Eugenia, and the slightly odd denizens of St. Crispin's. So this is a journal, obviously. March 5th. I've arrived in London without incident. I don't think it'll stay that way. And finally, I pre-ordered Ember Gold by Rochelle Nelson because it's Enclave and dragons, and I didn't need to know anything more than that. But I will read a bit. Fire dreamed of water, but the first sip would be its last. Guide has spent her life isolated in the wild marshlands, a place too wet for the dragon to go. She's safe there, according to her father, so why is he asking her to leave with him now that she has come of age? There is more to Gild's family than she knows, and debts need to be paid. Betrayed and shattered, she wakes in a crumbling mountain castle with the beast of her nightmares. Except this dragon speaks like a man and reads books. I don't want to get too far into it because I don't know if that gives anything away. The first time I saw the dragon, I was 8 years old. Oh, and there's the dragon's eye on the cover. So pretty. So I decided that since I have a big stack of books I got this month, that I would pick a few books to get rid of, unhaul. I decided to go ahead and get rid of this book, which I think was in my February wrap-up. I just don't ever plan on reading it again. And in my last book haul, I got a different copy of Persuasion because I don't like the way this cover feels. Also, these clothes are not accurate to the time period. I tried reading Front Porch Tales to my kids. They weren't interested. A friend of mine had sent me that. And then I think I'm going to replace my copy of North and South. I keep meaning to reread it, but I don't like reading from this copy because the print's so small, it's difficult to hold, and the pages are really thin. So I picked 4 books. Oops. 4 books to get rid of. There might be more. I don't know. To offset the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11 plus a couple kids books I got this month. So I've also decided I need to do another kind of mini read what I own challenge, and I want to read 10 books that I own before I buy any more books for myself. I'm allowed to buy books for my kids or homeschooling, and I'm allowed to receive books as gifts, but yeah. Well, I didn't buy all of these, but I was given some of them, and yeah, I'm gonna try to read 10 more before I buy any more for myself. Yeah, I homeschool. I'm buying books to squirrel away for a trip we're taking this summer, and then my youngest, her birthday is in like 6 weeks, 5 weeks, something like that. So I'm going to keep books for her birthday. But yeah, I don't know if I can get all these in frame, but these are all the books I acquired from like the end of February through middle of March. So yeah, let me know what you're reading, and if you like any of these books and what you're reading. I've actually already started reading this one because I finished my nonfiction, and I like to have a nonfiction on the go. So yeah, till next time, happy reading!